What's up, y'all? My name is Fitz. I am the host of the Let's Argue podcast. This is my channel, and it is the Friday before Christmas. Friday before Christmas, and we're going to get into it. Do a quick intro, then I'll bring Ty up. He is going to be the co-host for tonight. So what are we talking about tonight? Essentially, what we're talking about is broke people should not buy Christmas presents, right? Broke people should not buy Christmas presents, and why? All right. And we're going to get into some data that hopefully makes it clear that we're not just picking on people, that there's real reasons why broke people should not buy Christmas presents. So I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why I don't think broke people should buy Christmas presents. And then when Ty comes up, he can either agree or disagree. And as we move on into the conversation a little deeper, we would appreciate anyone that wants to come up and share their perspective. Maybe I have something wrong. Maybe he has something wrong, depending on his perspective. But here we go. Okay. What do I mean when I say broke? So when I say broke, what I'm talking about is at the bare minimum, if you don't have at least 1 month of your bill money saved up in an account, or ideally in an account or somewhere in cash or whatever, I would consider you broke. Even at 1 month, you're still on the line of being broke. And here's why. Okay. If you were to lose your job, or you were to have a shortage of income, right? You would only be able to survive 1 month if you only had 1 month of savings. You'd only be able to cover your bills for 1 month, and then things would hit the fan, right? Here's the problem though. If you don't even have a month of bill money saved up, but you're out Christmas shopping, that tells me that you really don't have your priorities straight, right? You likely are insecure on some level because you feel the need to go out and get other people get presents when you're broke. You're broke and you're shopping in the mall, stressed out about getting someone a present, or you're on Amazon typing in some gift like, I hope they like this. I don't know. Am I spending enough? You're broke. You're broke and you're focused on getting someone a Christmas present. Or here's another scenario, right? You're not even shopping for other people. You're broke and you've told yourself that this is the time of year that you deserve this. This is the time of year where you deserve to go spend money that you don't have on things you can't afford, that you're only going to regret in January and be trying to return stuff, calling your credit card people talking about you didn't really buy that. Buyer's remorse, right? Buyer's remorse. But here's what happens, right? You see all these commercials, you see people online and they're buying Christmas presents. You hear Black Friday sales. Oh, TV 30% off. I got to go get that. And you look in your bank account and you say, I don't have enough to cover that. What can I do? I know. I'll get a credit card. No. I'll do buy now, pay later. I'll use a firm and buy now, pay later. And so now I went out and got a $500 TV that I didn't have the cash for. And then I really don't have the money to make the payments for. But as long as I get that gift, I'll be straight. I got income tax money coming in January, February. I'll be good. This is the mindset of a broke person during the holiday season, right? This is the mindset. And so we're going to dive deeper into why I think this is a dangerous mindset, and ultimately why on a deeper level, I think that this robs so much wealth from the Black community. All right, so that's my little spiel, okay? I'm going to bring Ty up, and he's going to give his perspective. let's hear what Ty has to say. What do you think about what I said? Do you agree, disagree? I see you said it's not a dangerous mindset.
I don't know who that is, brother.
It
It ain't me.
looks familiar.
Nah, it ain't me, brother. Um, yeah, I mean, I think people often put too much of their emotions first of other people and how they're gonna feel about gifts rather than making themselves a priority. And so when the holidays do come around, they just kind of let everything go out the window because of how they feel, rather than standing on the principles and making sure they're straight before anybody else is straight. Because more likely, all these people you buying presents for, they don't really give a damn about your rent, what you got to pay, your emergency savings. What if something happened? They're gonna be there to give you some money? Probably not. So I agree. I think there's also plenty of arguments about, well, it's only Christmas or they deserve it, or they make up some Rome wasn't built in a day type of excuse, and it just puts them in a hole. Now they're trying to climb back out.
And I wanna go deeper on that because I'll take it a step further and say it doesn't put them in the hole. They're already in the hole. They're already in the hole. And what this essentially does is it puts them in a crater. Right? They were in a regular hole.
Yo,
They were in a regular hole. Now they're in the crater. Right now they're in the crater that formed when that meteor or asteroid that hit the planet and took out the
Mhm.
dinosaurs hit. They're in that now because they told themselves that they deserve something that they have not earned. And that's essentially what you're doing, right? When you go and you start doing buy now, pay laters, putting stuff on credit, you're essentially buying something that you have not earned at that current moment, and you're putting it off for later, tricking yourself, telling yourself, you no, I'll pay it off before the interest rates hit. I'll I'll get to it before the interest rates hit. But then what happens? Oh, them other pay now, uh, buy now, pay later start to kick in. You forgot that you was making payments on something from 2 months ago, and they all start compounding and compounding, and then all of a sudden you get sick and you miss a couple of days of work,
Mhm.
or something happens and the paycheck a little low, or your tire goes out. Something happens, and then that money that was going to go towards the payment isn't there anymore. So now you're on the phone scrambling, trying to get money. Now you're trying to do a payday loan just to get you by, all because you had to go and purchase someone a, a, a present, all because you deserved it, right? So
But it's
that's
about the
my
holidays. It's about the holidays, though. It's about the people. It's about the spirit.
what is.
Buying presents. It's all
I
about the
don't
people.
I don't think it's really about the people and buying the presents. Like I hear so many people talk about the holiday season from a stressed perspective. Like they want everything right. They have to get the perfect present. They have
Mhm.
to make sure it's like this event, and it's less about the people and it's more about, is there the perfect food? Is there the perfect presents?
Mhm.
Is it a white Christmas? Right? I want to have all these things perfect for Christmas, but then they're not thinking about after Christmas. They're not thinking about January. They just get all hype because some people on the news, some people on social media told them that there were sales and that they should go get it because they can't get it any other time. That's a thing, right? When I think of sales, I typically don't look at it from the perspective of I'm going to go get this because I can't get it any other time. I look at it like typically the things that I buy on sale, I can also get when they're not on sale. I just prefer
Mhm.
not to. But there are people who they can't afford it when it's not on sale. And then it goes on sale and it makes them think they can afford it, even though they still can't afford it. and then they go get it, and it's like, oh, it was $800. Now it's $500. I really can't afford the 500. Like, you couldn't get something that was $500, but because it was $800 and now it's on sale for $500, you can afford it now. It's like, it don't make sense. Like, you couldn't afford something if something was regular $500, and now because it was 800, now it's on sale for 500, you can afford it. It doesn't make sense. So these sales just trick people who are broke, right? Because that's really who they're for. The sale is really for broke people who they see the price and maybe they can't get it, and then it goes on sale and they really can't get it still, and then they rush in to get it because they don't know when it's going to be on sale again, and they just have to have it. That's what Christmas is for. Christmas is for broke people who want to buy things that they normally don't have the money for, but companies make it more accessible to you for the season of giving. They make it more accessible because you end up going and spending more, believe it or not, because other things are on sale as well. So you end up spending more than you would have spent. But hey, as long as you're in the holiday spirit, right?
All about the holiday spirit, brother. Well, people, and you got to think about what people are buying. I think the most packed store I've seen just far is the Apple store. People always going in and getting new phones, latest computer when they got a brand new computer at home, headphones, $300-$400 headphones, and it's like, okay, I mean, if you can afford it, cool. But if you can't afford it, you should be buying that stuff for what? What's it gonna do for you? And get rid of it probably 6 months down the road because you're gonna have to sell it. So you bought it for what? You went through all that stuff for what?
But they're gonna get the trade-in, right? When they go get the iPhone, they're gonna get the trade-in value. They're gonna get the trade-in store credit, and that's gonna be used for the down payment for the new iPhone that takes slightly better pictures. But for who? Who do you need these professional pictures for? That's what I want to ask people who are constantly upgrading their phone. It's not like you're a content,
social
right?
media.
You're not a content creator. You're not a professional. You're not doing it. You're not making money with that upgraded camera. Why do you need it? Right? The camera that you have, the camera that you have takes the same pictures that you're gonna put a filter on anyways because you don't like your regular self. It's gonna put a filter on that. It takes the same filter, and then like the better picture that you're gonna get from the camera, you don't even really see because you're gonna put a filter on that anyway. So I don't understand the hype of upgrading the phone that's gonna do the same stuff that you can currently do, but you're just gonna be paying more. Oh, but I leased it. I paid $37 a month. But you've been paying on the other one for 2 years. You just paid it off, and now you're gonna making the payment. But I need a new phone for what? You don't talk to nobody. You don't really post on. So like many of these people don't even really post on social media. They're not like, you're taking these pictures that you never go back and look at again. It's the hype. It's consumerism. That's what it is.
Let them cook. You're broke.
Hey, let me play that.
Yo, you're broke. Oh Lord, man. Yeah, man. That's true. People ain't posting like, what are you buying a new iPhone for, and you're not using it to its fullest capability. Truly. And then what people don't understand about the down payment thing is like it's a whole process, and they don't even read the fine print of like how it works out and how it goes. Because when you bring in your phone, they give you a credit, and then the credit is applied to your bill every month. But they don't know that until you're broke.
I'm sure this video be making me laugh. All right.
That's what I was thinking about when you said that. You're broke.
Let's see what Andrew Tate has to say about this.
Yo, that is, yo, that's crazy.
The last thing you should be doing with your time is cooking. I can't think of a lower ROI activity than walking to the fridge, getting out some ingredients. Ooh, an onion. Oh, let me get the onion. I'm gonna start cooking. Ooh, some right? My onion. You're wrong. You're fucking poor. You're broke.
Yo, that's what he means by you're broke, guys.
Yep. That was a little data we gonna get into a little later. I know these people gonna be coming for me.
You're poor.
They gonna be coming after me because I'm saying that broke people shouldn't be buying Christmas presents. But it's on the face of it, it sounds like a common sense thing. If you're broke, you should not be buying Christmas presents for yourself, for other people. And here's the thing, and I want to say this. If you, right, you are buying Christmas presents for somebody because you think if you don't buy them a Christmas present, they're going to be upset with you, you are a grown child. No, better yet, because children really don't even have the money to buy Christmas presents, so they don't even have that emotion, that feeling, right? You are an insecure, immature adult who needs to reflect and reevaluate their position in life. You need to reevaluate your position. You're a grown person who's broke, and you're more concerned about what they're going to think that you didn't get a present than saving money so you can survive? You don't deserve the Christmas presents. You know what you deserve? You deserve to be homeless. You deserve bad karma. You deserve a kick in the ass, because that's the only thing that's going to get your priorities straight. That's what it's going to take. It's actually going to take you going down to the bottom and really having nothing and struggling for you to understand that you should be the priority. Your finances should be the priority. You need to help yourself before you can help other people. You need to help, like many, and I have this conversation with people, and I sit back and think, wow, you're really stressed because you weren't able to get them a present, or you didn't get them a present, or whatever. And I'd be thinking like, wow, I have more, I could get this person a present and I don't get them a present, and I'm not even stressed. Like when you get the money to do the things that you people who are broke think that matters, you don't even want to do those things anymore. When you get the money to buy the J's, you don't even really want J's anymore. When you get the money to go on Temu and buy all of the off-brand things that they're selling straight from China and cheap and stuff, like, you don't even want to do that anymore. You're good. It's when you don't have and you think that, oh, I'm gonna buy this and they're gonna think more highly of me. That's where you mess up.
And what happened to it being about the kids? You know, like kids and the spirit of what is what the meaning of what it has been.
Oh,
I
that's
think a lot
been
of people have lost that. Yeah, that's been lost for a long time.
that's been gone, brother.
'Cause when I was growing up, like, yeah, we got stuff, but it wasn't really about getting presents. It was more of like being around family, having a good time, you know, going to more. I used to go like 4 people's houses in a day. Nothing but food, nothing but family, friends, kicking it, you know. And now it's about what you can buy and how you can look like this celebrity or keeping up with the Joneses. You know, like I don't understand people's mindset behind buying stuff that you don't need. Wouldn't you rather have money versus just collecting items? Because again, you're gonna have to sell that in 6 months when there's an emergency and you don't have $1,000 to pay for your car or an emergency bill, going to the hospital, something. And it's like,
They're not gonna sell it. They're not gonna sell it.
I think
Here's
so.
what they're the reason they're not gonna be able to sell it is because in 6 months, when they need to sell it to get the money,
Yep.
they're gonna want full price for it. They're gonna go online. Oh, I paid 80. I should get 80.
Mm-hmm.
Someone offers them 30. I pay 80. I'm not gonna give it. Like that's where we're at. That's and you touched on another thing. What happened to Christmas being about the children, right? Here's the thing. Your kids, if you've raised them right, they don't want your money. They want your time. Right? They want your time. And if you have a child who you genuinely raised up and they understand the situation, you have honest conversations with them, hey, where Christmas is going to be light this year, blah blah blah. Like I can understand why someone who has a child would want to get them a present to make them feel appreciated, make them feel special. But here's the thing. You need to have honest conversations with your child. You need to let them know, hey, we not doing much this year for Christmas. And you need to take accountability. But that's the thing that's missing, right? That's the part that's missing. Many adults cannot have the honest conversations with their children about why they can't afford these presents, because then they would have to take accountability and admit that they're not doing what they need to do to be able to afford them. You would rather go out, get in debt, pretend everything is good, go and buy Christmas presents you can't afford, and then for the next 6 to 9 months be trying to figure out how to make up for that. And then you're stressed out and you're a crappier parent those 6 to 9 months. So how are they winning when you're so stressed out that you can't even enjoy the time? You looking at that present and you harboring ill will towards it. You blaming the present. These presents too expensive.
Yep.
Christmas is too expensive. No, you're just too immature.
Yep. And why not live at your standard? That's another thing. Why not live at your standard? If you're going to buy presents, keep it at a standard so it's the same every year. So nobody's expecting it to be, when you got them a toy, now they want a PS5. Keep it at the standard that you can afford. Or don't even do Christmas at all and take a trip in the summertime. Go somewhere. Go out the country. Go to a different state. Do some other things than just collecting items. And a lot of people don't understand where Christmas even came from. Christmas came from Germany. And there was a man who had a white beard, chunky, who used to deliver presents to like orphanages and homeless shelters and stuff. That's where it all comes from. That wasn't like the United States took that and turned it into this figure that came in the middle of the night delivering presents on a sleigh. No, that's not. That's not true. And that's the whole meaning of Christmas, was somebody taking time out of their life to help somebody else to change their lives. And we don't do enough of that. It's all about what we can get and how we can get it at a cheaper price, rather than going down to your local soup kitchen to help out, or taking some of that money and buying some peanut butter jelly sandwiches at the store and then taking them out to the street, teaching your kids something other than how can I gain stuff and step on people in the process. It ain't nothing to go to your local animal shelter, donate stuff. Like, people just be too caught up in all the gifts and what they can get and how it looks, really. And then they, you're broke. Like, you're broke at the end, bro.
They was broke in the beginning. They're broke at the end. And here's the sad part, right? Here's the part that nobody talks about. When you go out and you get your children expensive presents that you cannot afford, what you're doing is you're giving them an unrealistic expectation of what money actually is, right? And you're setting up bad financial habits for them, because your kids at a certain age, they're not as naive as you think, right? They see you all year. They see you on the phone asking for gas money. They hear you when you're ordering food and they say the price and you say, nah, I won't get that. I'll just get this other thing that's cheaper. Right? They understand that y'all don't have money. So then when magically you show up on Christmas with this expensive gift, you're likely stressing them out, one, because it's like, where did you get the money for this? And two, you're teaching them that even if you don't have the money for something, you can get it. You just have to put it on a credit card. You just have to go and do a buy now, pay later. You just have to pawn some stuff. You have to throw away the little bit of savings you have and go broke and have nothing in the bank or whatever just to get this one thing. Pretty much you're teaching them to live for the moment and not plan for the future. That's what you're doing. Plain and simple.
Yep. And why I don't understand why people have to buy stuff, man. Like my mentor, they have her daughter has a daughter, and her granddaughter every year for her birthday and for Christmas, instead of getting her gifts, they take dog food, supplies, cleaning supplies, different things like that to the local shelters. And then come springtime and summertime, they go somewhere and do something. So they've gone on like Disney cruises. They just went to Europe recently, took a trip around everywhere out there. Constantly going to like Universal Studios, like going to all these different places that you could take that money that you're spending on gifts and make it an experience for your child to have. Instead of, you get your child a new, as my uncle, you get your child a new, the newest Jordans or the new PS5 that costs like $600. And it's like, you could take that money and take them out of the country and give them a different experience. Why would you only want your kid to have material stuff and not know what the world looks like? Because then we create more ignorant people who have no clue outside of their bubble what life looks like outside of it.
Yeah, and that's true. And here's what I think, because think about what you're saying. Taking your kid to have an experience versus a gift. When I was younger, like it wasn't necessarily about the experiences. Like it wasn't like, oh wow, all my friends went to Europe. All my friends went to Paris or whatever, or went overseas. As all my friends, which I didn't say this, but this is what other people would say. My friends have those shoes. My friends has that backpack. My friends has that video game system. And then what ends up happening is you become an adult and you think, oh, well, I remember what it was like when I wanted this and couldn't get it. I'm not going to make my child feel like that. But if you really had that deeper conviction, why didn't you gain the skill set and go to college or learn a trade so that you could make more money so that you didn't have to deal with that? It's like you want to get all of this pride and all of this confidence during Christmas, but the rest of the year it goes away. And you don't do what you need to do so that by the time Christmas hits, you're actually in the financial position to do better, if you want to call it, for your child based on your standards, which is not you, but like the person that feels the need to get the gift. Like it comes down to consistent change over time. Not, oh, it's Christmas, I'm going to go ball out and I'll wake up on this Christmas or from this Christmas hangover January 1st and deal with it then. I'll use my tax refund to balance things out, and I'll go get a car with my tax refund, and then the car gonna break down next year, and then I'll get a new. It's like a cycle. It's a cycle. Tax refund, get the car. Then the car have a repair it needs around September. then you out of money. Then Christmas come, you out of money. Then January come and you get happy because you just filed your taxes and you getting a refund. February, you don't even get your taxes. You go to the car place and you tell them, hey, I'm getting this much on my taxes. Take it out my taxes when they hit. And then it's like a cycle. For every season, there's something that you feel like you deserve in every season. Tax money. That's that season. Summertime, you got to take the vacation you can't afford. Fall time, that's when you start trying to get a little money saved up for Cyber Monday and Black Friday and Christmas and stuff like that. Or actually fall time, you go and buy your kids and stuff, school clothes that you can't afford. And then Christmas, we already went over that. So it's a cycle. There's never ending circle unless you step outside.
Yeah. And if I don't have a problem with people buying Christmas gifts per se, but buy Christmas gifts that are creative. Do new things. Don't buy people just the normal stuff that they always want or that they already have. Be creative with it. And if the people around you can accept that you can only give within your means, you need to get new friends. I told some of the people that want to give me Christmas gifts this year, I'm like, don't get me anything. Or give me a $25 gift card to the movies because I like going to the movies. Or give me a $50 gift card to the camera store because I got a brand new camera and I can get film and get film developed and things like that. Do something that's purposeful. Stop buying stuff that these people are going to throw away, take back, or just let sit there on the shelf. Let it be something that you can afford. So if I can only afford $200, because that's what I've spent for Christmas for a few people, that's it. $200. That's it. No more. I was fine with that. And the things that I got those people were things that they're going to use every day. It wasn't something that was going to sit on the shelf or something that was going to expire. But be creative with it. And if they can't accept that, then don't get them no Christmas gift at all. It's right like that. I ain't finna go broke for you, baby.
And if you notice, it's always broke people that want to make you feel bad because you didn't spend all this money on Christmas. Right? Like ever since I had children, I have not gotten them one Christmas present. My oldest child is like 2 and a couple months. We didn't get them Christmas present last year, the year before, and we haven't got anything this year. And it's amazing how you get demonized for that. It's like you just be chilling, you not worried about it, they not thinking about it. It's all good. And then they hear someone else here, you didn't get them a Christmas present. Oh, what? Like you would think the world was ending. They're just they want to pressure you into getting stuff. And then when I say, oh, they're not even old enough, they won't even remember it. Oh, but it's the this and the that and the, for you, they gonna wake up the same. They gonna want their oatmeal and they gonna watch Moana. Like they good, they chilling. You're not about to put no pressure on me to make it seem like they just came out the womb wanting Christmas presents. No.
Yep.
So
why can't people? This will be my question before we get into the numbers and stuff. Why can't people do it year round? Why we gotta wait until a certain day to get people gifts? If I talk to you every day, you and I talk every day, right? If I wanted to get you something, I get you something. I'd send you a gift card. I'd send you some money, whatever. Like, why do I have to wait till Christmas? Like, yeah, bro, here you go. Appreciate you being in my life.
For the same reason,
life type stuff. Like that's dumb.
For the same reason that people would trip on Valentine's Day. It's like if you're in a relationship and you tell somebody outside the relationship that you don't really celebrate Valentine's Day, they make it seem like you're the worst boyfriend or husband in the world. They make it seem like they can know zero about your relationship and the inner workings and inner dynamics of it. But you tell them that you don't do anything for Valentine's Day, you would think that you just threw somebody off the Titanic before it was sinking. Like people just go off the edge when it comes to this Christmas stuff. Same thing when it comes to Valentine's Day. You didn't get them anything? You didn't get them no chocolate? What? Oh my God, they're going to divorce you. They're going to break up with you. What? Oh my God, the world is ending. Where's your husband? Where's your wife? Like where's Like these are people that aren't even in real relationships, and they want to tell you about Valentine's Day and this and that and Christmas. Oh, you didn't get them the ring. You didn't get them the Christmas presents. What about the birthday? They want all the superficial stuff, right? They want to judge by all the superficial stuff. They don't want to judge by the, oh, I got off work, I'm tired, but I went by their favorite place and got them this on a random Tuesday. They don't want it. They don't want that. That's not in the headline. That's not in the same thing with parents, right? You tell somebody you're not getting your kid Christmas presents or you don't really care about that, bad parent. But they don't take into consideration the other stuff you did throughout the year for them. So I think it's just trying to keep up with, what other people are doing and fulfill some type of insecurity that was there when people were younger and didn't get what it is they wanted to get.
Right.
And I was never really like that, to be honest. I always was like, if I can't get something myself, I can't expect somebody else to get it for me. Because I was working when I was like 12, 13. And I used to try to I didn't try, I did. I would take my little $50, $60 I got a week and I'd go buy me some shoes. And I would take them back the next day because I'd be like, man, this doesn't do anything for me. Like I'd be in the bathroom cleaning off the bottom so that it looks like I never wore them. And I was going to take them back the next day. And pretty soon it was just like, I had the money. I probably had more money than the people whose parents had a little bit of money to buy them clothes, but they weren't working. Like I was bringing enough to where I could go get me some fresh shoes and fresh clothes, but I didn't feel the need to keep up with people or, oh, I got these new shoes and this shirt and this. Especially it's like you get some new shoes, but you don't have money for the shirt and the pants to go with it. And you just got some, you just got some nice shoes. That's what you look. That's what many of these people look like. They go out and spend all this money on a nice dress or a nice pair of pants and a shirt. And then it's like the rest of your outfit old, tore up, something like that. But now you got to get the shoes. Now you got to get this. It's like, come on, man. We could do better.
Let me ask you this. So you're married, right?
Allegedly.
Okay, allegedly.
I'm married.
Has your mother-in-law ever got you a Christmas gift?
Yes.
Okay.
It was weird because I think we've gotten her. She always gets us nicer Christmas gifts than we get her. Like I think we got her a picture one time of us, and that was it. I mean, we should probably get her something this year because she has, hooked us up when it came to Christmas in the last couple of years and stuff.
Give us an example.
Huh?
Give us an example
of what she's gotten us.
Hey.
Well, so she got me this button-up dress shirt.
Okay.
And I got this last year. It's this backpack. It's like a technology backpack. It has like a USB port and stuff like that on it, and a code you could put in. It's like and it has a headphone jack thing where you could have your phone in your backpack and be listening to it.
Bluetooth?
Well, no, it's just a thing that you put your. Actually, I've never used it, so I don't know. Let me see. That's a good question.
I was gonna say it might be a Bluetooth.
Yeah, so it has I didn't even know this. It has the cords in here to where like you hook it up to the phone.
Yeah.
I think you hook this part up to the phone.
Yeah.
And then you put your headphones right here.
Okay.
And it does it. Or you could charge something like this. I've never used the features, but so she got me this. Show y'all what I'm reading right now. I got all these books in here.
Oh, you trying to show off books now? Oh, okay. Oh.
Right there.
This guy. Yo. This guy.
I carry these around with me.
Let me show the good people what I'm listening to. The 3 magic words.
I got this right here.
Bro. Do you watch TV, bro? Like, dang.
I just I like to have certain books available, and then I just here's another one over here.
Hey, this man the GOAT. Mother-in-law out here buying them everything.
I just keep these on me.
Yes, search key.
The Alchemist.
That one was hard for me to get into. I couldn't really get into it that much.
I liked it. Emotional Intelligence 2.0. This is about, you have your IQ, then you have your EQ, your emotional intelligence. This is what can get you through Christmas. Emotional intelligence. Understanding that it's not that serious. You don't have to go out and buy people presents, right? It's not that serious. Race and Culture by Thomas Sowell. He's an economist, a Black economist, and he pretty much talks about disparities between different cultures, different groups, and saying that there's certain things within certain cultures that can explain why there's a disparity. And it's not just because you're Black or white. There's certain things. And then, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Got that. The other ones are in my library, my little bookshelf.
That's stupid.
Hey, but yeah. So that's an example of what she got us. Got me. She got me like this Under Armour athletic shirt or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the kids stuff. So I mean, we haven't really got her nothing.
Yeah, nah. I just wonder, because some people and they significant others' families don't really do that type of thing. So I think I got one time from one of my exes, I got a gift from their parents, but we exchanged gifts, so it's kind of like I was just wondering.
Hey, sometimes you just a better in-law. Maybe you wasn't.
This guy. Maybe I had it made. Who knows?
Maybe. All right, we're gonna get into some of this data. Let's get into some of this data so that people don't think I'm picking on anyone, or
we picking on people now. If you feel some type of way, the shoe fits.
I'm speaking in general.
No, I'm speaking on everybody, on mamas. If this offends you, it's about you.
So right here, this is what I want to show and discuss in length. 63% of the employees are unable to cover a $500 emergency expense. 63%. That's more than half. $500 expense. That's $500. And if you know what the average rent is, like it's between $1,200 to like $2,100. So that means the average person doesn't even have enough money to cover 1 month of rent if something were to happen. But you're worried about getting someone a Christmas present. You're worried about getting yourself a Christmas present. But the average person doesn't even have $500 for an unexpected emergency. Priorities.
But it's about the feelings. But I rather get somebody a present and feel good than to not get them one.
And I've never thought of that. Like I would rather have money for an emergency and be good than for someone else to feel happy because I bought them something. Like if you really rock with me and you really care about me and you really love me, why would you want me to spend money that I don't have to get you something? That sounds selfish.
To feel important.
If you feel the need to feel important because you bought somebody a gift, you should probably spend that money on some therapy sessions. That'd probably be a better usage of it. That would actually be a better usage of it. Because This is probably somebody that you've talked down on all year. That you've talked down all year. In real life, you can't stand them, but you feel the need now that it's Christmas season to go get them presents, even though you can't afford it. All right. And if you are watching and you want to come up, maybe you have a different perspective, click the link. It's in the comment section. Maybe there's something we're missing. For those of you just tuning in, pretty much what we're talking about is how broke people should not be buying Christmas presents, right? If you are broke, you should not be buying Christmas presents. And the definition that, I put out there for being broke, and maybe there's a different one that we can explore. But what I consider broke at the bare minimum is you don't even have 1 month to cover all of your expenses. That means rent, utilities, all the other things, electricity, all the other things, your phone bill, your debt payments, 1 month of that. Now, I'm not saying you don't make that much, right? Because you can have a high income and be broke. That's another misconception. You can make $100,000 a year and be broke. You can make $100,000 a month and be broke if your debt outweighs your income. And that's what people don't seem to understand is like you get raises or you make more money, but if your expenses outweigh your income, then you're broke. If you make all this money but you don't have $500 to cover an emergency expense, you're broke. So that's what we're talking about. And if anyone wants to come up and add to that perspective, just click the link in the comment section. You don't even have to be on camera. It can just be your voice, but we'd love to hear different perspectives. If not, we're going to keep going with some of the other numbers that I wanted to go over. All right. So we just saw right here that in this study, 63% of employees are unable to cover a $500 emergency expense. But it gets worse because we're going to look at the average cost of American holiday spending. Right here. What does this say?
Isn't it like I feel like I've seen this.
It says that it's estimated that the average person will spend $875 in 2023. $875. The average person will spend $375 more dollars than they don't have already to cover an emergency expense buying Christmas presents. How does that make logical sense? The average person doesn't have $500 for an emergency expense, but the average person is spending $875 on Christmas presents. Make it make sense. But and here's why I have no sympathy for people when I see things like this, right? Because I did a video the other day talking about pretty much accountability and how you shouldn't be relying on the government. And there was some back and forth and people were talking about, well, people just can't get out of poverty. It's too hard. It's too difficult. We need the government to do this and the government to do that. And you can't just take people off benefits. When I see numbers like that, that pretty much broke people who know they don't have the money are spending $875 on average for Christmas presents and don't have $500 saved up for an emergency. How can I feel bad for you? Because at that point, your poverty is a decision. How can I feel bad for somebody whose poverty is a decision? If you decide to be in poverty, if you decide to be broke, if you decide to live hanging by a thread, how can I feel sorry for you? And better yet, how can I want my tax money to go to help you when you won't even help yourself with the income that you have already? It's frustrating. It's frustrating because when I say these things, people say, especially when I say them towards the Black community, people say, well, you just don't like Black people, or you're heartless. You don't have any emotions. How can you say that? Because when I look at the data doesn't show me that these people woke up with Santa Claus standing in their bedroom with the shoddy to their head and said, go out and buy Christmas presents that you can't afford. No, you went out, you took out credit cards, you did payday loans, you did all this stuff to go out and buy Christmas presents that you can't afford. And then I'm supposed to, like, let's look at this. $875, right? What is 875 divided by 12? Let me see. What is 875? Got the calculator.
72.9.
$72.916. Okay. Let's look at this. I want to run a little thought experiment for people. All right. Let's look at this right here. All right. If we do not a mortgage.
There's a movie. While you're doing that, there's a movie, right? I think it's called Christmas Cranks, I think. And man, they used to spend like $6,000 on decorations alone, bro. $6,000.
Start.
I couldn't believe that. Y'all are tripping. $6,000? You know what I could do with $6,000? You want me to spend $6,000 on a house or decorations for a house? Man, you better go light a candle or something. For me putting no lights up.
I'm using 10% because that's the average rate of return in the stock market. Look at this. Look at this right here. Can you see this?
Yeah.
If someone were to take that same $72, right? That's the average amount that people spend. $875 just on Christmas. $875 divided by 12, that's the $72. If you were to start out with $100 in an investment account, and you took that same $72 that you would have spent all together during Christmas, but split it up over 12 months in a year, right? $72 a month. After 10 years, you would have $15,020 just off of that. And 6,280 of that would be interest, money that just compounded over time. And people, oh, well, $15,000, that's not enough. It's more than you have. And it's more than you would have had by not investing anything.
I don't want to wait 10 years, though. I want more money now.
Hey, let's look at 3 years. That's $3,143. Not that much interest, but it's still money.
Yeah.
Say 20 years. 20 years you do that. 55,000. 30 years you do that. So 30 Christmases, 164. It's like, but that's, what do you, after 30 years of buying people Christmas presents, what do you have? That, right? You don't have $164,739.
You're broke.
And this is even if you just do 72. Some people do more than 875.
That's too much.
Let's say you do 100. You just increase the, look at that. Look how much that jumps up. $100 a month. But I'm supposed to feel bad when people don't have anything in life. When for what you spend for the Christmas season, you could just invest that and you would have all this money after a certain amount of time. But racism, but Santa Claus, but all these other excuses and reasons why you're not where you want to be. But when you're given simple solutions, it's always somebody else. Oh, but I have to go and get that. I have to go. Okay. Then you have to stay broke. You have to stay broke.
You're poor. You need a button with that, bro.
It's wild. It's and people that I talk to say, "Oh, well, you've always been cheap. You've always been cheap, so it don't really matter to you."
Is it cheap or strategic?
I think it's just secure.
Mm.
It's just being secure. I'm not going to wake up and feel bad because I didn't get someone a Christmas present. I'm not going to do it. Maybe that makes me different. I don't know. But I don't think you should either. I think if you're a parent, you should be, and you don't have the money, you should be able to have a mature conversation with your child and maybe make it a learning experience. Hey, I'm not in the position to get you Christmas presents. What I can do, maybe we can go to the movies or something like that, or maybe we can do something like that. But hey, here's the truth. I don't make enough money. I haven't put the time and energy into gaining the skill sets to make more money so that I can afford this thing. And if you have a goal or whatever, hey, I'm working towards this. This is my goal. Like, if it's that important to you, this is my goal. Here's where I want to be financially this time next year. And if so, here's what we could do. But until then, I have to prioritize X, Y, and Z. And I'm just not going to be able to get you them presents. But that's too real of a conversation, right? They're just children. Let them be children. Until what? Until they're not children, until they're adults making the same mistakes you made because you expected the world to teach them something that you could have taught them but didn't. And now they're doing the same things you're doing. They'll respect you a lot more for taking accountability and being honest with them than getting them something you can't afford, being stressed, being a crappy parent because you don't have the money, and regretting your decision when they start acting up and being bad, and you hold the present over them all year and talk about how you made all these sacrifices to get them something you can't afford.
And people got to start doing more self-reflection. Do you even believe in the holiday? Where's the holiday stem from? A lot of these holidays in the States that we celebrate, practice, whatever you want to say, come from paganism, which is, if for all my religious folk who pushed this, all the pagans got set on fire. Things like set on fire, they drowned because of the flood. And it's like you guys have continued the traditions even though you guys know what comes with it. A lot of people seen the greed in the stories in the Bible. A lot of people seen what other people were doing and how crappy it was and how self-fulfilling everybody was trying to be. And they were stepping on the people that were a little bit more poor. And they faced the ultimate price for it by death. But you guys need to really think about if you hold any of these traditions, these beliefs, these views, because like it's hurting you more than it's helping you. Especially if you feel some type of way about it. Do I even, ask yourself, do I believe in Christmas? Do I even believe in the holidays? Like, because if not, don't waste your time putting yourself through all this distress just to make other people happy. Again, if the people around you can't be happy with just your presence, then you don't need to be around them. I shouldn't have to give you a gift for you to be my friend or to like me. Now, if I give you a gift, it's because I want to, because I care about you. But there's other ways to show that too. How do you feel about people and their significant others buying each other expensive gifts? Are you gonna buy your wife, your alleged wife, some gifts this year, or are you the gift?
Am I going to buy her some gifts this year? Well, it's Friday. It's the 22nd. I have not bought her any gifts.
Dang.
I have not bought her any gifts. She's not bought me any gifts. And somehow I think, the day after Christmas, we won't be divorced.
Maybe.
That's what the world would love for you to believe.
Some would say you're POS.
Maybe I am. But I'll be a POS with a healthy savings account, a happy marriage, and the understanding that a Christmas present doesn't make you a good or bad person. What it comes down to is when you add so much value to somebody's life outside of Christmas, these things don't tend to matter. It's the insecure people who look for one day out of the year to make them feel special. And when they don't feel special, they internalize it. It's like, and maybe I have a different perspective because when I was growing up, I always did get Christmas presents from my parents, but they did what they could. And I never had a financial expectation on my parents. I never said, oh, I need these new clothes. I need these new toys. I need this. I need that. I always believed, like I said earlier, if I am not able to get it myself, I can't expect somebody else to get it for me. And I took that seriously. And I look at that right now and I live my life the same way. So when you ask me, are we getting each other expensive gifts? Yeah, we're getting each other expensive gifts because what we're doing is we're sitting down and planning for next year, and that's going to be worth more than the gift I would have gotten her, right? The money that we're going to make from that, the clarity that we'll have, the happiness that we'll have, right? Why don't people do that as a gift? Sit down and plan your years, plan your friendship, plan your whatever with this person. Hey, where how can we grow next year? How can we do this? How can we do that? That's going to be worth more than the gift that you get that you really don't hear. And here's another thing that I just thought of while we're speaking. These people who want to get these gifts, they don't even know what to get the person. Right? They're just, what should I get them? I don't know what to get them. What do they like? I don't know what they like. Are they going to like this? Are they going to like that? Like, imagine being so stressed trying to get somebody something that you don't even know that they want. And on top of that, it just seems like an immature way to think, especially in marriage. Did you get them a gift? No. If I wanted to, I would. If they really wanted one, okay. But it's not that serious. It's only serious to the people that feel like they're entitled to a gift. That's how I see it.
Interesting. Well, and I think you also brought up a good point. You know, when we were growing up, because we're not too far from the same age, we didn't have all the stuff we had now. Like the coolest thing we had was what, Nintendo 64, but nobody was ever trying to compete with anybody. You got a gift because it was a gift. It wasn't to look a certain way or to have a certain perspective of that I'm better than everybody else. You know, a lot of my friends had Nintendo 64s when they came out. I didn't have one. I had a PlayStation, and I was happy with my PlayStation. But you know, when I would go to their house, we played the Nintendo 64, and then vice versa. They come to my crib, we played the PlayStation. So it was never a moment of like I felt like I was less than or not equal to my other counterparts. Like we all got stuff that was just that our parents thought we would like, really. So people have to get back to the true meaning of things and really get back to knowing the people in your life and giving from the heart and not just from your wallet. And for all those people who think money ain't no gift, I'm tired of y'all saying that. Money is a gift. You understand? Money is a gift. Give me money. Do not give me no weak ass present that I don't want. Give me money so I can go get what I want. I'm tired of y'all doing that. I'm tired of y'all saying, I don't want to give you money. I don't want to give money. That's tacky. No, put it in the card. Write down Merry Christmas. You love me. Give me the money. Stop playing these games. I'm tired of y'all.
You ain't even gotta do that. You could just Cash App.
Cashier's check, whatever they want to give. Give money. Stop acting like you have to go out and buy this stuff. If you don't want to do it, hey, here's a check for $100. Go get you something. Spend it on your kids. Save it. Pay a bill, something. Man, they better stop with that whole money ain't a gift. You spending money? Why not the hell give it to me?
So let me ask you this, because there are some people that will watch this and say, well, you guys aren't having a balanced conversation about, you know, the reality of Christmas. The reality is that there's so many people who they look at Christmas as the time of giving. They look at Christmas as, I just want someone to feel special. it's this cultural event that people are participating in, and I want to be a part of it. And so to ask people to who don't have the money but still can technically go get it because they can take out a loan or get credit cards and stuff like that, to ask those people to not get Christmas presents, you're pushing them out and or alienating them, and that's going to have a worse effect. When you're the kid at school that didn't get Christmas presents, or you're the person that was left out, that's going to make you feel bad. Do you think that that's real, that people actually feel left out if they don't get Christmas presents?
Yes. People place so much value on it that they become offended. And you'll see it come. You'll see it come around Christmas time. People on social media, families fighting, getting mad, getting upset about everything. Yeah, you'll see it. People place too much value on it, and they think that they have to have the newest thing in order to feel cared and loved by their family. When did we start placing value on material things for somebody to show us how to be loved or cared for? That don't make no sense. And if you're really trying to make somebody feel special, go give the homeless man a plate of food. Go buy him some snacks. You know, like me and my mom, instead of my mom's job gives her money, and instead of her spending the money on herself, her coworkers, she did a little fundraiser thing to help one of the donors that comes to her job that doesn't have shelter. She got him hats, clothes, a gift card. I gave him some shoes, some hats to keep him warm out in the wintertime. So it's like, if it's really about making somebody feel special, go give it to somebody who doesn't have as much as you do. I'd rather sit on the bench with a homeless man and have Christmas dinner to have it in a fancy house or with all of these self-centered people. That man ain't got nothing. So if it's about feeling special, go down to your local animal shelter, local soup kitchen, and help those people.
So from that perspective, then, I could see someone saying, all right, it's not that I need a present. It's not any of those things. This is just something that is a holiday, something that's celebrated culturally, and I just want to be a part of it. And when I don't get something, that means something. That's you sending a symbol. In the same way that, let's say that because you were an athlete. Mm-hmm. Let's say that your mom or someone close to you, they never showed up to any of your games. Someone would say, oh, well, they don't really love you. They're not really there to support you. But another person could say, it's just a football game. You don't have to show love to somebody. What about the roof I put over your head, the food I put in your stomach? Mm-hmm. I don't have to be at your games to show you love. Someone could take that same approach with the Christmas stuff. So is it that this is just an accepted symbol of showing love? Or do you think that, the perspective of, well, you have to get somebody a Christmas present in order to show love is overblown, and that many people understand that it's more of the symbol and the thought that counts?
I think people just do it because it's trendy. It's what people have been doing for years. And they just kind of don't want to be left out. So they rather do it than to be an outsider when it comes to the holidays.
Who hurt you?
This guy. Oh, hey. Yeah, it's the truth. It's for me, the people in my life, man, I want to appreciate them every day. Right? I want to appreciate them and show them that love and that care, not just one day a year. So, and many people in my life right now, me and my mom, we celebrated for a long time, very long time. But now it's more of like, we just enjoy spending time together, but that's it. There's not no Christmas presents involved. We might go out to a nice dinner or something like that, but we're kind of the outsiders this time year around. So I think people just follow the trends, man. Don't want to be left out because it's weird. It's weird when you don't celebrate it.
Are you against celebrations at all, or is it just Christmas?
I would say to each your own. I don't like celebrating the white man's holidays that we've been taught to celebrate and spend money on.
So it's Christmas in particular. It's not just.
It's all holidays: Christmas, Valentine's Day, Thanksgiving.
But what about just celebrating? Just celebrations in general. Like here's a celebration. Are you against celebrating things, or is it the holiday that's attached to the celebration you have an issue with?
I don't know. I don't really celebrate much. I mean, if you won $1 million tomorrow, of course I'm gonna celebrate you and be excited for you. But that's
because you're trying to get a check.
this guy.
We made it.
If you care about me, it's Christmas.
Yeah.
No, man. I'm not against celebrations. It's more what's attached to it right now.
Okay.
But what are we celebrating though? That's the thing. What are we celebrating with these holidays? What are we celebrating? Thanksgiving, we celebrate genocide. Christmas, we're celebrating a false idol, right?
But isn't that's I don't think that's accurate, because that's not, in order for you to be celebrating something, don't you have to know that that's what you're celebrating?
People still know the true meaning of Thanksgiving and they still celebrate it. They still know that millions of the indigenous people were slaughtered. But then they try to change it and say, well, I'm spending time with my family. This is the only time my family comes together. Well, if y'all made more of an effort to see each other, it wouldn't be like that.
Well, let me ask you this then. All right, let's say January comes, right? You go into work and they say, all right, we appreciate the work you've been doing. Here's $30,000 more attached to your annual salary. And you say, okay, cool. You go out, you go to your favorite restaurant, you ball out, get you a couple drinks, maybe some women around you if that's what you do. And you're full and you're having a celebration, right?
Mm-hmm.
You think that you're celebrating your raise. That's why you're there, right? But behind your raise, the company that you work for, they say the reason they're able to pay you more is because they're exploiting people. Like however they're making their money is not the most ethical, right? But you're celebrating because you got the raise, but you only got the raise because of this thing that's happening in the background.
Right.
So in that situation, are you celebrating this thing that happened in the background, or are you celebrating the raise? Because when people are celebrating the Thanksgiving, I don't see them being like, yay, genocide. I see them like the family thing.
Yeah.
But that's where it originated from, was the genocide, right? But can those two things be separated, or is it always the same because this is where it originated from?
For me, I think it's always the same, because why would you celebrate something if you know it's wrong? If you know where it stems from and the truth, why would you celebrate it? But again, it goes back to your question earlier. Do people really truly care about spending time with family and valuing their loved ones, or is it just a trend? For me, it's just it's just a trend. And I can't get down with that type of stuff. Yeah, you can change the meaning and do different things, but it still doesn't negate the fact that that stuff happened. And when we don't acknowledge those things and stop participating in that stuff, we're continuing the colonization of not only different minority communities, but ourselves as well. We're still being locked by those chains mentally. Because if we can't break away from that, we're not going to be able to break away from anything.
Do you think that meanings of things can change over time, or is it always as potent as it was when it first started?
I think people have tried to change things over time to make themselves feel less guilty. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's changed naturally just because. I think people have just done it to make it not as sad and trying to bring some type of positivity out of it. But in
So,
doing so, we've also handicapped ourselves as well.
so when people are celebrating Thanksgiving as an example, because that's the one you use, do you
Mhm.
think that they're sitting around celebrating the genocide of Native American people? That's their intention,
I think to an extent.
or is that just
I
a
think to,
connection, or do you think that that's really what's happening?
I think to an extent, because we've all learned about history, right? Even the new cats nowadays, little Gen Z is what they call them. They've learned about history and what has happened. So when people participate in it, I think to some extent they are celebrating genocide. But they've changed it and said, no, I'm celebrating my family. I spend time with my family.
So, okay. So you recently got a camera, right? You were talking about earlier that you have a camera.
Yes, sir.
Do you know where that camera came from, or what type of exploitation went into that camera being produced?
Let's see. Well, the camera's not fancy. Okay, so it's not. It's a very old camera, like a '90s camera.
Mm-hmm.
So back then, time was a little bit different, where they put the work in here in the States rather than going to other countries.
Okay. So let's say, is there anything that you own or anything like that that you know for sure, someone got the bad end of the apple?
Yeah. The iPhone,
And
the iPads.
right.
I just got a 360 camera, which is made over in China.
You
Really
went
didn't
out
know
and
that.
actually bought these things.
Well, 2 of them. Other 2 were gifts.
Okay, so you accepted these gifts and then you went out and you willingly bought these things knowing, right? And
Bought a phone.
maybe you were happy, or there was a sense of like, man, I got this, like the excitement you get when you get a new thing, or you were just like,
I was just like,
you don't.
Everything I have it has a purpose. So it's not really more of like, ooh, look at this. Like initially, yeah, it's like, oh, this is cool, this is dope. I get excited about what I'm gonna do with it, not really
Right.
like having it to show off to people.
Okay. So when you use these things that were created with child labor and exploitation and things like that, isn't that you celebrating those things based on your logic?
Probably to an extent, yeah. Truthfully, because when I was growing up and the iPhone started to come out, getting that new iPhone was like, boy, that's like winning the lottery. He was like, oh yeah, I got that new iPhone 6S, new phone case. So yeah, I think to an extent, I think we do celebrate those things because we talk about them and we talk about child labor and we talk about, like, for example, Apple. There's been so many allegations about stuff they've been doing, child labor, all those things that people have seen, but people are still steady buying the iPhone, still steady buying iPads. If I wasn't in school or doing something that required these iPads, I wouldn't have got them. If I could have a flip phone, I'd have a flip phone. But the chances of that working in today's society is probably not. It's probably slim to none because my grandma used to have one, but eventually she had to upgrade to an iPhone or some type of smartphone because they did away with the flip phones. She had a flip phone forever. But truthfully, I would have a flip phone just because, for one, all the stuff that I have, I want to be made here in the States, but also by people that it benefits. When I buy the iPhone, it's not benefiting people in America. It's not benefiting local small businesses. It's not benefiting those people who work hours to produce some type of product for me to buy.
What about the tax money that Apple generates? Isn't that going to helping people?
No, I don't think it's helping people. Because if we break those stuff down, like for example, you know how some restaurants will be like, we'll donate $1 to every child in Africa, right?
Right.
Most of them have already donated the money, but that's how they get their money back on the back end. By you donating, that goes back to their pockets. So if Apple and all these other companies are saying, yeah, for every iPhone you get, we're going to build a school in Africa. When though? Have you ever seen Apple build a school in Africa? Because I haven't. Any place that has said those things, any place that has said those things, I haven't seen anything. And again, not all of Africa is poor. So why can't the wealthy side help the poor side develop? So I always have questions, but to your point, I think to an extent we do celebrate those things because we know about them, but we still buy them. We like it's almost like you have no choice. Imagine if you had an Android. How many people talk crap about you when you had your Android? How many? Oh, he got a great bubble. Oh, he got a great bubble. He didn't got an iPhone. Eventually, you got an iPhone.
But what is your definition of celebrating? Because I think that celebrating is different than participating.
Well, I'm not saying like, you're like, woo, child labor. Yeah, work them damn children,
Got to get that 16 out next year.
This guy. I think it's probably not the general term of celebrating where people are excited. But for me, it would be acknowledging the things that go into these products or just anything in general and continuing to participate, but also celebrate in a way because you're buying stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of similar to the regular definition, but kind of tweaked a little bit.
Okay.
So I'm not saying everybody's like, yes, genocide, but it's more of like, we know about it, right? We're still participating in the activities that took place back then, even if they attach a new meaning to it, right? Which is fine. At some point, you're still celebrating history at that point.
Right. And I can see that. And it's interesting because especially when it comes to like hip hop and rap music,
yep.
That's a theme where, they're talking about killing other Black people and sexually assaulting women and things like that. And people are like, well, when you sing those songs, you're celebrating Black murder. Yep. You're celebrating Black violence. But I think there's a difference between participating in something and celebrating it. Mm-hmm. And I think when people are participating in Christmas, in Thanksgiving, but they're not really celebrating it to a large degree. I think they're participating in something that they don't really know the meaning of, that they don't understand the complexities. Like I tell people all the time, if we do have Santa Claus in the house, it's going to be a Black Santa Claus picture. And like I told somebody one time, I don't want my children thinking that a white man is their savior and that a white man is providing all of this stuff for them. And they said, oh, that's racist or that's this and that. But they didn't understand the complexities of how the white image has been weaponized against Black youth, Black people in general, to control us psychologically and make us believe that we're less than white people. And so when you constantly have Jesus is white, Santa is white, and all of these powerful God-like figures as white, in a Black child's mind, they start to associate white with being superior. And so explaining that to somebody and then them still wanting a white Santa, I don't say, oh, they're celebrating the inferiority complex of Black children and Black people. I just think that they're participating in it.
Yeah, they could also be celebrating it too at the same time, because think about how much pushback there was when they came out with a Black Santa, when they came out with Black different Christmas decorations. People didn't like that. And it was almost like, well, we got to keep them in their place to an extent. Now those things are allowed. They have allowed it. but black people feel like, oh, it's symbolic. They, we're equal. No, not at all. Not like I think a lot of brands who go to Target, like you see a lot of black brands at Target, especially around Black History Month.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, that's the only time you see it though, is when it benefits white people. And I think white people developed Black Santa as a way to continue to enslave the black community to buying more stuff to make them more broke just to have a Black Santa. The Black Santa costs more than the white Santa.
I don't know. I would think that they would spend more when there's a white Santa because black people tend to trust white people a little more when it comes to money. Like we can't even keep the black dollar in the black community for 24 hours. When when I worked as, in business, there are people that, like I worked in insurance before, and there were people who had never worked with me, clients that would come in and they'd be telling other insurance agents that they didn't want to work with me simply because I'm black. Now, these were white people, but the point that I'm making is that it seems like white people get a premium from black people when we spend our money. So I would expect them to pay more for a white Santa. But I've never paid for a Santa. So
I've never bought, and I've always every time I see a Black Santa, I think it's tacky. I think it's weird because it's like we all know that there's no Black Santa. Like, let's be real. Let's be honest. We all know there's no. I don't even think there's a white Santa. Like I said earlier, that comes from a random dude in Germany who was just being nice to people, and then they turned him into this figure to capitalize on people, not only black people but all people. And now black people have turned these things into their own skin color to accept it. Like Black Jesus. Jesus was not black, was not white. Neither or. Neither or. My man was from Israel, had a tan. He wasn't black, he wasn't white. My man was light skin, brown skin, whatever you want to say. And now they'll say, oh, well, Black Jesus, Black Jesus. No. I'm tired of people saying.
You have an issue with Black Jesus.
Huh?
You have an issue with Black Jesus.
I think when people tried to, for me growing up, when I was taught the gospel, I'm not a religious person now, but when I was taught the gospel, I was always taught that God or Jesus, some people separate them or put them together, that he was all colors. He spoke all languages. He wasn't just white, black, this. Like, he knew all the languages. He was all colors. So when people come up with these ideas of like Black Jesus versus white Jesus, it's weird to me. Some people are out of pocket with it. I ain't gonna lie. Especially with the white Jesus pictures, I'd be like, bro, come on now. Now we know he didn't look like that. Come on, bro.
But you believed that? Do you believe he was tan? You don't believe he was all colors now, do you?
Now, I mean, obviously now I have a more clear understanding because I'm an adult. Mm-hmm. And obviously there's facts, history facts to back those things up. But yeah, I don't think he's a rainbow now. Back then growing up in the books, that's what it used to say. So, from my research that I did, in Ethiopia being one of the only places that wasn't colonized and that has an original to them Bible, in the Bible, Jesus I wouldn't say he's dark skinned, but he's like in the middle, brown to a darker skin color. So I don't know, this guy look like fits. But yeah, man, I think it's all weird. I think it's a way to just keep people down and take their money.
So when it comes to Christmas, right? And when it comes to Christmas and Christmas shopping, how much of your bias towards white people being, I guess, colonizers and wanting to take advantage of black people plays a role in you not wanting to celebrate it?
I don't know. Bias is a strong word. Not really biased per se. Nah, I'm biased. Hey, I'm starting all business, baby. Nah, even if there wasn't bias, I still wouldn't celebrate it. Because again, I just think it's weird how we celebrate these holidays here. And I've been overseas. I've been overseas during different types of months, and they don't celebrate none of that stuff. It's rare that you see certain countries would not celebrate the holidays. And they're like, well, why do you guys do? So for me, even if I didn't know about colonization and I was blind, which I was for most of my life, I didn't know about colonization. I celebrated Thanksgiving. I celebrated Christmas. I celebrated Valentine's Day. Celebrated 4th of July. Martin Luther King, Veterans Day. Now I don't. So it's more just a logic behind it in the behavior that comes with it that turns me off rather than the bias, I would say.
Are you a cultural person?
What you mean?
Like, are you part of a culture where you follow traditions, rituals,
Yeah.
things like that? Right?
Yeah.
Would you consider those celebrations?
Some of them for sure.
So do you put, I guess, American celebrations below those ones that you celebrate? Like, what makes yours okay to celebrate, but not the other ones?
Well, these come from my culture, and a lot of them have been made to give thanks for life, for the people that are in your life, for the elements around us, the animals, everything that has some type of soul or spirit. That's what we give thanks for. It's never about self. It's always about us as a collective. For the American traditions, they are below. The only things I really participate in, I would say, is I participate in Veterans Day, so I think that's very important. Just because a lot of people have given their lives to defend this country and for us to be where we are. I don't celebrate Valentine's Day. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. 4th of July, I don't really celebrate it. I really don't participate in the events either. I used to a long time ago, but now I just kind of chill just because people be getting all kinds of stupid. And then Christmas, I don't really celebrate it.
Are you proud to be an American?
Yeah.
You are?
Power to the people.
Which people?
My brown and black brothers and sisters.
But overall, you're proud to be an American citizen.
Yeah. I think no country is perfect, right? Especially with me being able to go see other countries. I am proud to be born here because of the opportunities I've had and the rich history that comes with the world, I would say. I wouldn't just say America because everything was switched a long time ago. But overall, I would say I'm proud. We have our problems, but I mean, I grew up here my whole life. What else am I? I can't say, oh, I hate America. That's why. Why would I say that?
Well, then let me follow up with this because you said something interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're proud to be an American,
yep,
and you were born here and everything like that,
yep,
it seems like everything that you name that you don't like is American culture.
Right.
So how can you be proud to be an American but despise American culture and not really?
Because that's what a lot of people give their life for us to be free and choose our own choices. I mean,
so is there anything in American culture that you like that's celebrated?
Barbecue. You're the great state.
You're celebrating high blood pressure and high cholesterol in the Black community. Wow.
Nah, good barbecue, brother. I mean, to that question, everything I said isn't to me isn't American. Like for me, growing up, America, to my knowledge, as a kid, was a melting pot of cultures and people who made this country great. So that's what I'm proud to be a part of. It's not about the holidays. It's not about being around any of those things. It's more about the people I've met, the opportunities I've had, and the choice of having that freedom to do whatever I want to do and be whatever I want to be.
Do you think that, and I'll kind of chime in on this as well. I know I'm asking you all these questions.
No, it's good.
Do you think that Black people get the short end of the stick when it comes to some of these holidays or traditions or events in American culture that are centered around consumerism?
100%. Yeah.
Because it seems like it's exaggerating like an already agitated aspect of Black culture when, like, for example, Christmas, it's hyper consumerism concentrated in a small amount of time that then explodes and creates this black hole that keeps pulling you back in January through November. It's like just as soon as you're almost out the black hole, now you're back in. And if you didn't do anything to raise your income, become more financially literate, or save during that time, now you're getting pulled back in and back in and back in. And here's what I don't like. And I'm going to give an interesting story because I was actually blown away tonight. I saw something that was inspiring. So as we're talking about finances and stuff for Christmas, this thing happened to me tonight. We were at dinner. We were at a ramen shop close to where we live, eating some ramen. And it's me, my wife, 2 kids, and there's 2 friends sitting next to us. They're at a table and they're facing each other. And they're having a conversation, and obviously I can hear. I'm not trying to be nosy or anything, but they're talking to where I can hear.
Yes.
And they start saying some things I recognize. They start talking about the real estate market. But it's one guy, he's pretty much coaching his friend. He's telling him about the real estate market. He's telling him about investing. He's talking to him about paying off debt. Like they're having a real financial conversation. Just 2 friends, right? And I'm listening. And I kind of become more interested in their conversation. And I stood up when we were leaving, and I kind of got a better view of everything. The friend that was receiving the information, he had a backpack next to him. He had a notepad on the table, and he was taking notes while they're out eating dinner. He's taking notes. Now, I didn't even think of the race until now, but the friend that was giving the advice was white, and the other person looked like they were Hispanic or something. But I stood up, and I was getting my daughter, and we were going, and I kind of butted in the conversation. I said, "Excuse me, don't mean to interrupt." I was telling the person that was receiving the information, "Hey, this dude that's telling you all this, you need to stick around him and you need to listen to him because he knows his stuff. I'm in the industry, and everything he's telling you is correct." Right? Like that's what I'm telling them. And then we start chopping up, having this conversation. And I told them like, yo, because he was telling me, yeah, I'm, getting into real estate, blah, blah, blah. We're trying to pay down debt and start investing and stuff like that. And he's walking through it. And I tell him, We're a couple of days away from Christmas. It's Friday. You guys could be doing anything. These are younger dudes. You guys could be doing anything, but you're sitting here at a table talking about paying down debt. Like he was telling this friend, like, hey, you got to be accountable. You're going to have to sacrifice. You're going to have to, when you pay down your debt, you're going to have to stop eating out. Like we're here eating out. You're going to have to stop doing that. You know, like you need to just take accountability. You're going to have to pay this off, pay that off, and you're going to sacrifice. It's going to suck. But once you get through that, boom, like he's telling them all these things. And I'm just like, yo, that's amazing because y'all could be doing anything on a Friday night, a couple days from Christmas, and you're doing this. And I started to think like, wow, as we're having this conversation, there are people out there who they want to change their situation and they're putting the work in. They're at dinner with a notepad, listening to a friend tell them to pay debt down. And some people are at the mall with a credit card, buying things they can't afford for people that they talk bad about behind their back. That conversation that they had in that ramen place is worth more probably than any gift that guy could have gave his friend. And you're worried about getting somebody a present, paying for them to get a present. Why don't you go sit down and have a meal with them, teach them something, right? Put yourself in a position to help them. Because that's what I saw tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, it even got me thinking, like I'm sitting here being a consumer, just eating ramen with the family. They're eating ramen, having conversations about finances and how to get better. Got to step my game up.
Yeah. That's been hard for me to try to, because it's always an interesting conversation when people ask me about the holiday or they say things to me, you know, like for my new coworkers or 2 new coworkers, they're like, you know, do you celebrate the holidays? I'm like, no. And then they're like, why? And then I try to make it a teaching moment and make it more of like, this is how we connect. This is how we can do stuff, right? This is how you can talk to me. You know, if you're interested in knowing any more things, this is what I know. Especially for people who are close around me too. I always try to do something else. So like if somebody says, well, I know you don't celebrate the holidays, but like, can you participate? Yeah. But let's go do something that is something new that we both don't know. Let's learn something within that. And let's make it a new experience. Let's not go do the same old thing. So like went downtown to this place, this little marketplace that we're having, and it was like right after Thanksgiving, it was like a Christmas thing or something. And I turned it into a teaching moment because this guy was selling local elk, and turned into a teaching moment about some of the different body parts, how they skin it, you know, kind of those things. And that was nice because they didn't know those things. I mean, they may never use them, but it's always good to know just in the future, just in case, you know, maybe zombie apocalypse, you might have to go skin your little elk, get your little elk testicle, you know? But yeah, man, I think that was a beautiful thing for you to see because it's like, teach me something that can help me. Maybe not necessarily financially, but maybe mentally, maybe emotionally. Like, give me something else than just material stuff.
Right. And I think, you know, and we're going on 2 hours, so we'll kind of wrap it up. But for this, I guess for this section or this, that's what it's called right there. Section, I'm thinking of a word. For this segment, that's the word I'm thinking. For this segment of the show, we're going to talk solutions, right? Because I know a lot of people, they hear these conversations and then they say, well, you're naming all the problems. Talk about solutions. And if you're just coming into the video, essentially what we're talking about is broke people shouldn't be buying Christmas presents. If you have a perspective and you want to come up and just add something, click the link in the comment section and you can come up and give your piece. You don't have to be on camera. You can just have your mic so you can get mic'd up. But we're going to go into solutions if anyone doesn't. If there's nobody that wants to come up and say anything. If so, you can even comment your thoughts in the comment section. Or like I said, just click the link and come up. But if not, we're going to move into the solutions segment where we kind of talk more about practical steps and things that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'll start that off, right? Here's the thing. If you're broke, and again, when I say broke, I'm saying you don't have a minimum of at least 1 month of bill money. That's all your bills, rent, utilities, everything included, debt payments. If you're broke and you're stressed out about buying people Christmas presents, listen. I know you, and if you've already went out and bought a bunch of Christmas presents, here's what I want you to do. I want you to take them back, right? I want you to, if you don't have at least 1 month of bill money saved up and you went out and bought people Christmas presents and stuff, I want you to take them back. I want you to take them back. I want you to get a refund, and I want you to sit down and I want you to come up with a budget and look over your expenses and see how you can change your situation. Because as much as you think that person's going to love that gift, they're not. They're not really going to love it the way you think they're going to love it. They're going to get it. Maybe they'll appreciate it. Maybe they won't. But here's the thing. People that really love you and care about you, they appreciate your success more than anything you can give them. That's the best gift you can give somebody is success. You succeeding, right? When I see people that I know succeeding, that makes me happy. That makes me feel like, wow, I'm glad that they're in that position for them, right? If you're not succeeding, I don't want any gifts from you. If you're not succeeding, I don't want any presents from you. Go succeed. I don't want to be a part of your downfall. And when you give people presents and you can't afford them, you're essentially making them an accomplice in your downfall. That's selfish. Now you're making somebody help you fail faster. Don't put that on them. Keep that on you. So you don't have to go out and buy presents for people. So here are some practical things you can do. And Ty, you can chime in anytime. One, like I said, take the gifts back if you've already gotten them. Two, all right, what I want you to do is I want you to buy a personal development book, right? It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It doesn't have to be $30, $40, but I want you to buy a personal development book, and I want you to go through some of the exercises in that book. The one that I recommend is called Buddha's Brain. It's called Buddha's Brain. Now, this book, it teaches you how to be more self-aware, and it teaches you how to kind of live in the moment, meditation, things like that, so that you can process information from a calm, relaxed state. When you're running around like a chicken with its head cut off, trying to buy people presents and you're stressed and things like that, you're not in your most calm state. You're going to do something and have buyer's remorse. And then once you have buyer's remorse, it's easier for you to keep doing it because you already feel like crap. You don't want to start the year off like that. So there's a couple practical solutions. Take the things back if you've bought them. Take some of that money, invest in yourself, get some books, go through some personal development exercises so that you're actually in the position to save up maybe for next year if you really want to get somebody some presents. Or just do what I do. Play it off. Laugh about it. Hey, you didn't get me anything this year? I didn't get myself nothing either.
Hello.
Yeah, LOL. I didn't get myself nothing either. Hey, come on, get me something for Christmas, which nobody says that to me anyways. Give me something for Christmas. I'll hit them with the, I can't do it. Like it's not that serious. But what do you have to say, Ty? What are some solutions for people who are broke that feel the need to go out and get people presents for Christmas?
Well, I mean, I think you said it all. Really, just for me, it's just about self-reflecting. See if you believe in these things. So if you don't believe in them, why are you practicing them? Why are you continuing to be a part of these holidays that not only are costing you money but peace, causing you emotional distress. And it's okay if you don't celebrate them. Don't. There's groups for everything in this world. People who celebrate holidays, people who don't celebrate holidays, people who do or celebrate halfway, people who celebrate 10%. You don't have to feel bad for not doing it, you know? And if you need to buy gifts, if you say, well, all that's BS, I need to buy gifts, buy within your price range. If they can't accept it, then don't buy no gifts. I'd rather you take me out to like a nice lunch for us to have a good conversation than to buy me $200 pair of sneakers. Take me to Texas de Brazil. But all in all, man, people just need to check themselves and check the people around
them. Right. And to wrap it up and to finish it off, I'll say this. You're not as important as you think you are, really. It's like you didn't get somebody a Christmas present. The world is going to keep going on. They're going to live their life. You're going to live your life. You think you're more important than you actually are. You think people are sitting around thinking about you all day and they're not. You don't get them a present. Okay. Your life will go on. And honestly, it's like I've gotten to the point to where I have the money to get people presents and I just don't want to. Like at a certain point, when you have a certain income, the excuse of I ain't got it gets old. I just don't want to do it. Right? Because you start when you make enough to actually start doing something for people and you keep telling them, I ain't got the money, I ain't got the, you may start feeling fake. So it's okay to tell people no. It's okay to say, hey, I have the money, but like, let's say that you don't want to bring your pride down and, oh, I only got the money. You don't want to tell people that, hey, I have the money. I just don't want to get nothing. It's not something I want to spend my money on. It's your money. You don't have to go get people presents. I know people are like, well, I have kids and they're going to feel this way and they're going to feel that way. Well, that's why you as a parent should prepare them for the world. Let them understand how money works and it'll make them stronger. And if you have to get them something, you just feel the need to get them something. Don't go get credit cards. Don't go take out payday loans. Don't go into debt to try to get your children presents so you can hold it over their head and say you didn't do your chores, so I'm taking your gift. You don't have to do all that. Humble yourself, live within your means, and understand that if you can't afford to get somebody Christmas presents and this is something that you actually value, you need to make a change. You need to make a fundamental change. Like use that as fuel to make the change you need. Don't let life's ass whooping go to waste. If life is whipping your ass and you can't get somebody presents and you value that, don't go and steal that lesson from yourself by taking out debt and buy now, pay later, and living as if that lesson doesn't need to be learned. Because it's going to keep happening and keep happening and keep happening and keep happening. And then what ends up happening? Your kids move out. You're there. You have no retirement. You have no savings. And you have nobody there to get presents for and blah, blah, blah. And now what? You're sitting there alone. No presents. And then you see, it never really mattered. That's my piece. Any final words?
Just wanted you all to know that Fitz got me a $500 gift card to Texas de Brazil. Don't let him fool you. It's just for me because we've been locked in for like 10,000 years at this point, it feels like. So thank you, Fitz. Appreciate you.
I did no such thing.
Don't let him lie. He don't want nobody to be mad.
I did no such thing.
He don't want people to be jealous. It's okay, brother.
I did no such thing.
I'm gonna take you out.
I did no such thing.
I'll take you out, brother.
I didn't even know that they had gift cards.
Yes, he did. Don't let him lie.
I didn't know they had them. I wouldn't spend that type of money.
Yes, he did.
Especially on Texas de Brazil. If I was going to do that, it'd be to like a fancy steakhouse.
Fogo de chao.
Get the Wagyu.
All the way they chow.
For 500 Wagyu.
That's what we're going to do.
Wagyu. Wagyu. The beef costs like it's Wagyu. But thank y'all for tuning in. If you have not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? If you have not liked the video, what are you doing? If you went out and got Christmas presents and you're broke, what are you doing?
You're broke.
What are you doing? I don't know. But for real, thank you for the support. Forgot to mention, I am a personal development and business coach. I help entrepreneurs and highly motivated people set and accomplish goals and hold them accountable. So if you're interested in seeing what I can do for you, make sure you click the link in the description. I'll post that after the video ends. I forgot to do it before. Got to get better, hold myself accountable. But you can schedule a quick 15-minute free consultation, no obligation, and I'll see if I can help you and if we're a good fit. And that being said, go spend that Christmas money, baby.
From the Bottle Podcast.
That's trademark.
This guy. We out of here.
Hey.
Peace.